Alright. So, the first thing you want to take in consideration is with Gohan specifically. So, the cool thing about Gohan, let's start with first thing that, let's see. No, I don't even think you start with one bar. I think you start with one bar. There we go. So in every match, you always start off with like no bar at all. And one thing you got to take in consideration is how much meter your character requires to work, and also how much they can do without meter. So for instance, Gohan, for example, Gohan could do a lot of damage without the uses of meter. That's like 4K by himself, and then even with that, oh shoot. Well, he's doing a loop, but I'm pretty bad at doing a loop. But he can round up like 5K damage by himself without the use of meter alone. Shoot. So, there's that. I already mentioned that Gohan does a lot of damage. He has his own projectile, very versatile projectile. Once he does get meter, he's able to be very dangerous. He has a gimmicky overhead attack. The light version hits up in front of you, while the heavy version hits behind you. What's interesting enough is the light version does not cause hard knockdown. So that being said, what I mean by hard knockdown is, for instance, the light version, you can't combo off of super. With the medium version, on the other hand, you can combo off super. So, and also the enhanced version hits depending on how far you are. So if you like from full screen, he'll hit him from up front. But if you like mid range, it'll be a cross up. So, there's that. His neutral unique attack is pretty garbage. You won't usually see anyone using this. But his down neutral attack is pretty well for spacing out you and your opponent in case you get into a situation. Other than that, you won't use it for anything else. Standard projectile, very good at neutral, very good at block strings as well. You can combo off of that one if you have a meter to spare. Note that Kamehameha blasters in this game are they are scaled very heavy in this game if you would use vanish attack. So keep it in consideration. I would only recommend doing this if you're trying to go for the kill. What else? Let's see. So, there's that. When Gohan does use level 1 super, he's already dangerous. You have more normals you can use, more pressure. He does more damage the more the amount of times you do it. And also, some of his stuff has changed. So for instance, this is now an evasive attack, and it becomes a guessing game. So let's have the opponent on block. So you can be doing this block string, and at that point you can go for these few options. Oops. Hold on. You can go for these options. Ah, dang. Oops. Oops. You can go for another cross up. You can go for an overhead attack. Oops, I'll keep doing that same. You can go for a grab afterwards. You can go for the cross-ups that I mentioned. And what's interesting enough is on this one, because of the fact that he evades, it will literally dodge through certain attacks. So, like, for instance, oops, it'll jump over projectiles. But taking consideration that the light version, because of the fact that he's not as high, that he won't go through the projectiles. Only the medium version will. And there's also a cross-up. So because of the fact that he also has the same animation, you literally have to guess in which direction he has to do. So there's that. Gohan's assist, on the other hand, is this DP. It goes through a bunch of attacks. The reason it does is because on startup, on frame 1, possibly through 5, I forget which number, he is completely invulnerable. So that being said, let's say, record I'm doing that, and watch this. Let me do this instead. There we go. See that? It just went straight through it. So if you're getting a lot of pressure done on you, and if you feel like the need to break the pressure, you can literally just medium punch DP into super. So the medium version, on the other hand, won't combo into super, I believe. Yeah, the second hit won't combo into super, only the first hit. And the light ones you can combo as well. So keep that in mind. And even if they block it, you can still remotely make it safe. I mean, it depends. It depends on certain supers. So like an example, it would be, let's say you really don't want Gohan to die. They block the DP because you went for the risk. You can space the opponent out with a character super that will make things safe. So like Cell, Super, I believe his super is safe. I'm not really sure. Goku's.
I'll make this quick. You think you're fair? Pathetic. Nice try. Very well. Pathetic. Yes.
Yeah, this is safe. Safe on block. So, let's go. So there's that. What's also pretty interesting is Gohan Supers. It's very easy to convert off of. Super's very easy to convert off of, very straightforward. Once you get one, he becomes ridiculous. Which is why I recommend him on point. He can do everything with very little uses of meter. And the more times you use Super, the more dangerous he becomes. But at the same time, he's that character that you don't want to be... that you don't want to lose very easy either. The moment you lose Gohan, you're losing a lot of force from your team. I'd say that his only weakness so far that I know of is that his assist is kind of garbage. One thing is he appears right in front of you, and there's not much going for him when it comes to anything out of that. I say the only time you use him is to get out of, you know, pressure. So like, let's see, for example. Let's use that for example. Alright, that was a bad example. Like, it's never your turn on that. Let's try it again. Let's try that. Oops. Got hit by my own block string. Got hit by my own block string again. And that's another issue right there, is that he doesn't come instantly. So only like very few moments, like few frames he has to have startup to even do it. I'm using Gohan, which is a bad example, but just know that because of the fact this is a DP, you can get like you can convert off of the reversal. It's very hard to combo off of. You have to react very fast in the heat of the situation to get a combo off of it. Other than that, that's us. That's pretty much Gohan. A pressure monster with only two lows. He has two lows, so that makes mix-ups even more dangerous. He has really good range. Very, very far normals as well. And his pressure game is ridiculous. Characters like Android 16, they never have a turn back. You can sit there and pressure all day, and 16 has to respect that. The only time he has a turn back is if you mess up your block string, run out of meter, for example. Because the enhanced version of this is when Gohan's really stupid. You could be mashing buttons, and you'll still never get your turn back. Here's an example. Oops. Let's use this for example, right? And I'm gonna allow him to perform that. That's why I would get mashing. But like, let's say if I was like trying to perform level 3 or anything. Well, regardless of that. This whole sequence, you can't do anything. You have to sit there and take it until he runs out of meter or make a mistake. It's pretty ridiculous. Really ridiculous what Gohan can do. And because of that, you can make the opponent fear you. Like, if they know, if they're aware that your pressure game is extremely well, you can make them respect that and have them guess on certain things. So let's say you're going for this block string. You can go for the grab afterwards. Or you can do things like you can go for one of these to get a reaction off the opponent, force him to maybe drop his guard. Go for one of these generic overheads. You can do generic overheads in this games are safe on block and on hit. So the guessing game is you do a generic overhead and you do your fastest normal. So the only issue is I think Gohan's normal is slower than normals. I could be wrong. I have to go check on that. But you would do like a generic overhead into light, or a generic overhead into grab, you know, things like that to mix him up. But other than that, he has a bunch of options, and with the right team, like Vegeta assist, it just becomes ridiculous. It's retarded.